Hi guys, welcome to my cooking class. As you can see, I've changed locations. I'm actually in Calgary now, enjoying some time with my grand dog. Yeah, I know, how sad is that? No grandkids yet. Anyway, nudge nudge, wink wink. I hope my kids are watching. Anyway, so today I thought what I'd do for our cooking class, I'm here by myself. I absolutely love fish. And so I'm here dog sitting, and I thought it might be a really good opportunity for me to make fish burgers. Now, many of you probably are very familiar with the 3-in-1 burger press, and I could totally do a fish burger with the press, but I wanted to actually do it with something different. So we'll just wait for a quick second. I'm just going to grab my notes here if I can reach over. Give you some fun food facts. Let me know where you're coming in from so that I can say hi. Hey Pam, nice to see you. So today's cooking class, I'm going to be doing fish and shrimp burgers. And I'm going to be featuring some of our new products that came out for the season. This is our West Coast burger seasoning, and it's really intended to be for fish. However, I mean, you can use it for almost anything. But I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to be making it with cod and shrimp. So what I basically got here is, this is frozen fillets. This is just one little cod piece. It's still semi-frozen, just so you know. And I actually like that. You're not supposed to thaw your meat out or your fish out in advance, really. But I find it so much easier to cut up anyway if it's semi-frozen. And my shrimp, I just found a few shrimp in the fridge, so I'm just gonna chop this up and tell you how to actually prepare this. So why don't we do some fun food facts about fish burgers? Are you guys ready for that? Hello, Bernice. Hey, Tyler. So fun food fact about fish burgers actually is going to go back to McDonald's. Are you ready for this? The McDonald's Corporation, you know, the chain, the burgers. Well, the fellow who owned McDonald's, Lou was his name, he actually had 87% of the population located around him when he started the franchise were Catholics. And of course, fish on Friday. So he was finding that sales were a little slow on Friday. People weren't eating meat per se with that 87%, and he needed to drum up some sales. Now this goes back all the way to like 1962. Yeah, that's like 60 years ago. Long time ago. And so he decided he was going to create some fish burgers, and it was really basically to help his business. And that's one thing about being a business owner. You always have to adapt to your environment. You can't stay the same and expect different results, right? We all know that. So that's what good old Lou did. So he created the fish burgers back in 1962. So that's sort of a fun fact. Now, he also, here's something interesting. When he first started his fish burgers, are you ready for this? Do you know how expensive halibut is? He actually started making McDonald's fish burgers with halibut. Oh my gosh. I don't think my mom, we didn't even live near McDonald's, so I can't even blame my mom, and she's watching anyway. So she's off the hook. But the thing about that is, halibut being so expensive, of course, they couldn't sustain that. So halibut moved to cod, which is what I'm using today. It also, from cod, it actually has gone all the way down to pollock now. So again, just transitions. And this is part of cooking and food. And we know when things become too expensive, we have to modify. And that's why I like doing these cooking classes, because you can just modify. They also even brought cheese. How many of you, do any of you make fish burgers? Do you ever put cheese on them? So that might be an option. Okay, so I basically got my fish chopped, but I'm going to chop it even more in just a little bit, but I want to chop it up a little bit so that I can release and it melts a little bit. Well, not melt, yeah, thaws, I guess is the word. I want it to thaw a little bit, but I'm going to start adding my seasonings to it. So the West Coast burger seasoning has onion, some cornstarch in it, so that's going to be a bit of the binder. It's got herbs, garlic, sea salts, organic lemon powder, chilies. It's delicious. So I'm grabbing my 4-in-1 spoon, and for this amount, make sure that you stir this, because I do find with the ingredients in this one in particular, they do tend to settle. So give it a good shake or whatever before you get started. And I'm going to roughly put in about a tablespoon. The recipe, by the way, will go up to my website, so I'll get that out to you in a little bit. Now, another binder that I'm going to use is egg. So you can use your little mini whisk or a fork or whatever you want. You can even just keep it in a prep bowl. This is, of course, the prep bowl. And I'm just going to throw some egg in there. And then as a binder, and the original recipe that Epicure had actually had asked for mashed potatoes. I don't even have mashed potatoes here, but what I do have is this crispy, crunchy coating. Have any of you had a crispy, crunchy coating? Hey, Teresa, nice to see you. Liz, if you've never tried it, oh my gosh, this is a gluten-free crumb mix, and I love it because it's a rice spreader, but it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Ready for this? It's actually got raisin juice concentrate, a little bit of honey in here. It's got some garlic and some pepper and some paprika and mustard, everything that you need to have something delicious. So I'm going to add, using my 4-in-1 spoon again, I'll let you see what that looks like. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons. The recipe, by the way, that I'm going to give you is for a family size. I've actually done the TV version, so I've actually got this cooked already, so I know it tastes absolutely delicious. And then I am going to have to salt this. So I'm going to be using our SPG. That stands for salt, pepper, garlic. We're not going to use a lot. In fact, for the amount that I've got here right now, I'm just going to put in that much. All right. So you can give this a quick little stir. I'm sure they've got stuff. I love having all my stuff in this kitchen. It's handy. Okay, so I'm basically getting that egg mixed up. I want to make sure it's nice and combined. I'm going to split the amount that I've got into 2 burgers. And as I mentioned before, many of you got on, is a lot of you may be making your fish burgers with our 3-in-1 burger press. I'm not. I always like thinking out of the box. Hi, Charlene. So I'm actually going to use, this is our bagel and donut maker. And I thought this would be just brilliant. I'll tell you why. Because when I put this in here, I'm going to actually create, the well. And then I'm going to be able to put my homemade tartar sauce in here. So once I've got this mixed, I want to make sure that I chop this up finer, because I want to make sure that it sticks together. And if I have too big of chunks, there's a chance that it's just going to break up too much. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope so. You have to, I will share with you as well, if you're defrosting or when you're defrosting your different types of fish, you want to make sure that your fish is dried out as much as possible. So some of the things that you can do, what I sometimes do is, if my fish is really wet, I did this prepped before, I will actually put it inside a couple pieces of paper towel, and I will literally just squeeze it so I get all the extra moisture out of the fish. Okay, so now I'm basically going to split this in half. Oh, I better oil this. I'm going to use our little basting brush, a little bit of oil. And even though it is silicone and it will release, because it's fish and it's got the egg and the bread are in there, I want to make sure that it doesn't stick at all. So then we're just going to mound this on top. I think that's about even. Oops. this one on this side. If you have any questions, do you guys like fish burgers? And how many of you have a waffle, or not the waffle, the bagel maker? A lot of people don't think, well, especially if you're gluten intolerant, you usually can't even have a bagel because they're too hard to find, gluten-free. So you may want to consider grabbing this. If you're a first-time customer, there is a 15% off coupon that you can use. Just direct message me. Okay, so basically that's what they look like. Now you'll notice this is quite flimsy. So I've got the oven set for 350 degrees. And you're going to want to put it maybe on one of our baking sheets. Just so you know, size-wise, this will not fit. This bagel maker will not fit on a quarter sheet pan. It needs to go on a full-size sheet pan. It's just probably about 3/4 of an inch too large, okay? So I'm gonna pop this in the oven. 350 degrees, and you're gonna cook it for about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is. And you all know that ovens have different temperatures, right? So let's get started on our tartar sauce. Just move some of my mess here. Okay, so for the West Coast burger, I'm gonna use a tartar sauce, and I'm gonna use mayonnaise. So here, what I've got is a 1/2 cup of mayo. And mayo, just so you know, tartar sauce actually comes from the land of 1,000 sauces. Do you know what land that would be? Yeah, France. So it was believed that France actually created tartar sauce, and it used to be served with beef. Yes, beef tartare. So that's sort of the mindset around it. So I do not know the correlation on how it went from beef tartare to becoming like the fish sauce. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our citrus press. Make sure you wash your lemon, and we're going to put it in upside down, and I'm not going to squeeze the whole lemon. As you can see, you get a lot of lemon juice out of here. With this press, you usually get about 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So I'm going to use about 1/2 of that. All right, so we've got that going. I am also going to be adding some of our lemon dilly dip in here. I'm going to put roughly about 1 teaspoon. And I know I had some, oh, right here. I like pickles. I love pickles. If there had been capers in that fridge, I would have put capers in here. But I just chopped up some pickles in here. So I'm just adding those to it as well. And I want to put a little bit of 3 onion. So I'm going to grab that 4 in 1 spoon, and I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm just going to maybe put in like about 1/4 teaspoon. Just to give you an idea, this is literally like having onions chopped right out. And this is a kitchen staple. Honestly, I put this on so many different things. So we're gonna grab a little knife or silicone knife, and we'll just give this a nice mix. And I will tell you that when you're making your tartar sauce, if you can let it sit in the fridge now for, 30 minutes or so, the longer you leave it, the better it is. Well, I shouldn't say it like that long. You don't want to leave it for like 3 weeks. But what I'm saying is, if you can give yourself like 10 or 15 minutes so that the flavors start melding in here, it's going to be absolutely perfect. So that's perfect timing for me putting the fish in. I'll just taste. Okay, yum. Sorry, it's delicious. It's probably good there isn't capers in there. I'd probably be eating the whole thing. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna plate this, and I'm gonna pull out my fish that I've already made. Hello, Paula. So grab a plate. What I wanted to do is because I have that well that I've created, I've just got a nice green salad. I will let you know that right now on the market is mangoes. Oh my gosh. If you have gone to the store and you see those skinny yellow mangoes versus the ones that are big and green and red color, buy them. I can't remember the variety, but the seed inside is super, super skinny and they're less fibrous and they only are around for a short period of time, and I love, love, love them. So I just thought, as I saw them there, I couldn't resist, and I just thought, I'm gonna put mango in this salad. I'm eating it. Might as well be for me. Make it how I want it. I've got cucumbers, I've got some pea shoots in here, but you don't have to do a salad if you don't want. I mean, as long as you put about a cup of veggies in here, you'd have a nice balanced diet. Okay, so I had cooked this. I've got one plated up and one plated down so you can see what it looks like. But can you see how there's a hollowed out area in there? So you'll know it's cooked because if you put in your raw shrimp, once it's cooked, of course, they turn sort of a pinky color. It's done. So I'm literally going to just set this on top of my salad. And let me grab a spoon here. All right. And I created that well for a reason. I literally am going to put a dollop of the tartar sauce right in the middle. And if you want to make it a little bit fancier, I had a little bit of onion. You might just want to stick a couple little sprigs of green onion on top of there. And guys, there you go. This is your fish and shrimp burger. Doesn't that look delicious? And I am going to tell you, I'm going to just let me grab a fork. I'm going to give you the flavoring, just so you know how delicious this is. And of course, I got another one coming out. But you can see how moist it is, but it is cooked all the way through. I shouldn't have taken such a big mouthful because now I'm going to talk with my mouth full. This is so darn delicious. So I really encourage you to think out of the package. It doesn't have to be chicken fingers. It can be your binder. You don't have to use a burger press to make a burger. Please come back to my cooking classes and see what kind of fun I can have in the kitchen. And your tartar sauce, I mean, have some fun. Some people put mustard in it. Some people put Dijon in it. Some people put Worcestershire sauce in it. I just made it very simple. Lemon, pickles, and lemon dilly, and of course, mayo. So thanks guys for popping in. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you back here next Thursday, and I'll have some fun little thing. I can't even remember what I've got up my plate. But thanks, I appreciate you coming by. See you again really soon. Bye.